It's me, Eddie Zubetti. We're back at it again at the boiler room. Day 3. I'm not trying to blow up. Day 3 of trying to stay consistent with uploads. Probably not, low key, but we do what is it is what it is, right? So, I know yesterday's video was a bit much. I know. And I'm just, I'm probably gonna move on from that as best as I can. Like every now and then, like if someone wants to ask me a question about it in the comment section, I'm down to answer it. But we're gonna talk about a little special doggy. Am I right? We're gonna a little dog named Little Bingo. It's my dog, who we adopted in January of 2024. By that point he was like 3 months old, so he was born around October, I think it was. But Bingo's a bit of a knucklehead. I know he's a year old, so he's still technically a puppy. I don't think, like, for me, I don't think like dogs don't really mature until they're like 4 years old, because by that point they're like within their dog years are probably in like they're they're kind of like 16 to 20ish, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably fucking stupid or something like that. But yeah, I I think that for one, I think it's 7 years, right? Yeah, probably 7 years. So if he was 4 years old, he'd probably be like, probably early mid-20s, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Fucking math isn't my first subject, I guess, unless if it was like 5th grade math or something like that. But even then, like multiplication is like 3rd grade math. So I'm fucking yapping about shit. My dog Bingo was a bit of a knucklehead, as previously stated, and the only reason why we adopted Bingo, well, at least he wasn't really we didn't really go to adoption center. He was kind of taken from a farm and brought to us here from one of my cousins, who thought, hey, I know you guys are still grieving about Smokey, who was my previous dog throughout 2012 to 2022. Smokey passed around April of 2022 because he was very old at that point, so there wasn't much that we couldn't really do with him. And that sucked because I would describe what actually happened, but I don't really feel it still kind of lingers a bit whenever I do want to talk about it, and I'm on camera or on a microphone just trying to explain to it what actually happened. But Smokey was I loved him. Love that dog. I remember always making content with him whenever I could. He was always like laying down or something like that. He didn't really care too much, but it was funny. Just having stuff that I could do with him whenever I wanted to. There's actually an old video of mine with when I was playing with Riaz in Destiny 2. Is like how my dog shit all over the floor, and he took another shit as I was cleaning up his shit, and I was talking about how like my feet stink because I stepped on it, and I'm like, damn, I should really go take a shower, but Riaz is online though, and he has to go, has to go to bed soon because he has school. Yeah, that was a fun story. I love reminiscing about Smokey as much as I can, and sometimes I think that getting Bingo was getting him like kind of a mistake because and I don't say like in hindsight it's not a mistake because obviously it just there's a lot more company around the house for my grandparents, and it's it's really healthy for them to have like the companion who is treated as the same as an actual child per se. And I mean in the sense that if you grow up in a Hispanic household, every dog is treated like a fucking actual sibling in a way, because they get treated the absolute same. They fuck up, they get smacked with a chancla or something like that, which is like a fucking stereotype with like Hispanics. It's like, oh, if you mess up, you get the chancla. So granted, it's not like he's not always fucking up the way people would often like say. Again, Like there, he has his moments. Like, and I'm gonna get to these moments right now. Actually, when Bingo first moved here, he was not well. He was chill at first until like it came to nighttime, and usually when dogs are like sad or crying, they will howl. They'll go oh whatever the fuck. Bingo. By the way, when we got Bingo, he was like 3 months old, and it was not sounds of howls and howling. It was like an actual human being, like fucking screaming. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And we had to go check on him, and Bingo, since we gave Bingo his own personal room with his own cage and stuff like that, it was kind of obvious like he was kind of scared of being alone. And when my grandparents moved to El Salvador for a vacation, right, for like a month and a half, we had to bring Bingo within my room, and I kind of noticed that he would still howl even if someone was there nearby him. And so I felt really bad, and so I opened his cage and I let him sleep in my bed. And dude, Bingo, Bingo is cute. I love Bingo. Even again, he's still a shit, and I'll get to that even then. But yeah, like those early months of me having to take care of Bingo, it was perfectly fine. I remember one time I was kind of panicking when I got back from school, and I forgot my keys, and Bingo was inside, and he hasn't used the bathroom, and so I snuck in through my window, then had the fucking cops call on me or something like that. It's like, hey, do you live here? I go, yeah, I just left my keys. I had to, I have a small dog in here, and, he's new, stuff like that. And the officer goes like, oh, I'm so sorry, man. Neighbors, concerning shit like that. Like, yeah, no, I understand like 100%. And then he walked out, and like my neighbor was like, hey, someone robbed you? He goes like, yeah, I robbed myself. I went into my own window. He goes, did you forget your keys again? He goes, how did you know I forget my keys? I'm like, I just called the cops, and there's a fat guy going into your house. And I go, yeah, sounds about right. But something that Bingo would start to do over the couple months, like by this point he's like half a year old, right, was that he was a bit of a jumper. He had actual jumps. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I joke about him being like a descendant of a Mexican man who jumped over the border wall. But dude, that man has some height. Like, if there was an NBA for dogs, motherfucker would be the number one draft, like straight up. Like, no lie. That motherfucker has hops like it's in, like we have fences around our houses because, for one, if we had our dog, like, this was for Smokey, but Smokey never really jumped. Smokey was like always like, oh, if he sees a door open, he would just walk through, right? Like a doggy house, whatever the fuck it was. But Bingo would jump. He could jump. Such a small dog could jump. And it was to the point where we had to reinforce the gates. We had to add some extra height to it because he legitimately jumped over it. He would jump over it. He started to jump over the fences. And it was fucking crazy because I would see him try to jump and he wouldn't make it, right? But at a certain point, he would fucking jump. And I remember one time my grandparents got home. They were like, hey, where's Bingo? And I tell him he's trying to jump over the fence. He goes, oh, okay. She rolls down her window as to indicate that Bingo could fucking jump over the fences. And I see him jump over the fences and jump into the truck. Mind you, the truck door wasn't open for him to go in. He just jumped through the window. And it's like, and I looked at him and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? How is he doing that? He's like 6 months years old. But mind you, okay, main part I'm forgetting here is that Bingo is a Lavin Pitbull mix. I don't know that he is part Pitbull, so that's one thing. And I don't know, like, I could be wrong. I'm gonna show a picture here just because of why not and shit like that. So I just had to look at the time frames. So there, the whole picture there. Bingo is this breed, if anyone can name it. If I got it wrong, then I'm a terrible dog owner, or whatever the fuck. Not in terms of like knowing what the fuck he is, but if I would describe Bingo as if Scott Steiner and Braun Breaker combined into one being. That's basically who I would describe Bingo as, because god fucking damn, that motherfucker's a beast, dog. Like, Bingo be doing too much whenever he do too much, but like, goddamn, when he's funny as shit. Another thing that we had to do was kind of like make sure like he couldn't dig out of the fences, because he found out for some fucking reason this dog knew what he was a fucking like a landscaper at one point as well. He figured out that the volume of the grass is different at a certain angle, and he dug his way out. And we had to put like wooden fences there underneath where he dug, so he doesn't get out anymore. Which was such a weird thing. And every now and then, like, Bingo would get out the house on his own, and it's like, again, no fault of anyone. Our gates are pretty old at this point, so the doors won't shut at like sometimes they won't shut properly, or if my grandparents mistakenly leave one of the gates unlocked, which I don't blame them, because they are pretty old, so makes mistakes like that happens, and it is what it is. But like every now and then I get a phone call from my friend Freddie, who goes, "Hey, your dog's in my yard," and I go, "Oh shit, all right, I'll be there soon." And I remember one of the days that he called me, he said, "Hey, I think your dog is in my yard, right?" And I go, "Oh, I'll be there soon, right?" And he calls me again and says, "Oh, dude, I don't think that's your dog." I go, "Oh, really? That's not my dog?" And I was making sure, like, to check around the house just to be sure, like, he was there. And then it turns out, like, Bingo wasn't actually there. He was actually gone as well. So, like, I told him, like, "Dude, my dog is also gone," which was just ironic that he told me that my dog was supposedly in his yard when it was, like, actually a different dog. And, I searched for him for about an hour outside, and I kind of almost gave up, because, like, yeah, dude, he's usually in my friends' yards or, like, nearby their yards. But this was, like, the actual first time where he wasn't there, and I was getting frustrated, because I was looking for him for about an hour. And every time I heard a dog, and this was such a weird day as well, actually, because there was, like, 8 different dogs that I saw who were kind of just by themselves. And I was like, what the fuck? And I even saw the dog that my friend told me that was supposedly my dog. It was like a floofier dog. I don't know, fluffier dog. He wasn't about the same size as Bingo, but he was, like, kind of like half of what his size was. But he had, like, brown and white coloring on his fur, which, like, poodle dog, noodle dog, I don't know what they're fucking called. But yeah, I was frustrated, and my fucking friend called me. He's like, "Hey, your dog is here. Your grandparents are here to pick him up." And I go, "Oh, okay, thank God." And I had to fucking walk back from, like, all these of all places. Which I was out for like an hour, so I was like, you know what, fuck it. As a fat guy walking for an hour, this is great cardio. This is a great workout. So at least it wasn't a complete waste of me just not finding him. And if you hear that barking, that is him barking upstairs, because I'm in the boiler room downstairs. He's barking at probably the mailman or someone who is just walking nearby our house. I think it's funny. I think it's comical, actually, that he's actually barking just to be sure that he's there. Also, another thing that is like, oh, what happens if Bingo gets lost again? Like, someone asks, probably no one's asking this, but like, what do you make sure you find him? We actually invested in a track collar, actually, with like a collar that has like a GPS installed into it, and so that way it's a lot more easier to kind of track him wherever he is. So that way the headache of being out there for about an hour, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours is no longer there. So, Bingo is he's a bit much. Also, his name is Bingo, because my cousin's dog name is Bluey. So, yeah. All right, I'm gonna head out now. Bye bye.